Welcome back, family. This is Canticia. Hey, I got some news for you today. We're talking about fake insurance policies. We're talking about New York flooding and how FEMA is just not there. But another thing, influencers, you're going to want to get that umbrella policy. I'm going to dive deep into that a little bit more. I did another episode on it, but I'm going to bring some real evidence to you this time so you can get it through your head that, hey, if I'm thinking about being an influencer, starting a podcast, doing the blog, I'm going to want that umbrella policy. So let's go ahead and get started. But you do know, before we get started, every episode, I have to bring this to your attention. I'm going to pause right here. I want you to know that there is something out here that's bigger than insurance, bigger than gossip, bigger than what's going on in the insurance world or political world. This is going to be child sex trafficking. It is one of the darkest issues facing our communities today. Every episode, I want to remind you, if you see something, say something. Call the human trafficking hotline. That's going to be at 1-888-373-7888. Every voice matters. Every child deserves protection. You guys, we have to step up for our children. On another one, my episode, I did let you all know you can't leave your kids at your sight. I know sometimes you send them to your church programs. It's like you have to be there. You can't send them off to camp for a number of days or 2 weeks at a week at a time. No, that's when things begin to happen to your children, because those wolves, they be in sheep clothing. They're in the church. They're in your neighborhood. They're just all around us. They're blending in plain sight. This is why I'm saying to parents, grandparents, godmothers, fathers, whomever, if you know children, we have to look out for them. Again, if you see something, say something. Report suspected child trafficking. Call the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888. Every voice matters. Every child deserves protection. All right, y'all. Let's get into today's episode. We're going to be talking about fake insurance policies, FEMA failures, and why influencers, podcasters, bloggers are suddenly being faced with $1 million lawsuits. This episode may step on a few toes. That's okay. I mean, hey, this is beyond the claim. We're always keeping it real, raw, and unfiltered because I need you guys to understand this. First, I want to dive into these fake insurance policies, right? So we're going to start with the scam that's hitting drivers hard. And right now, scammers, they're targeting, they're targeting the Hispanic communities with fake insurance policies sold on that app called WhatsApp. These documents, they look like they're official. They even have a policy number, a fake company logo. They put you on monthly payment setups. Drivers think, is that cool? I got coverage at a cheaper price. But here's the ugly truth about that. When they get pulled over, or worse, when they get into an accident, they find out that they never had any insurance coverage at all. And mind you, they're paying monthly payments to a scammer. These scammers actually have their system set up to where they're taking monthly payments. That's something there, because I have a membership site as well, and you set that membership site up so sophisticated that you can take monthly payments for fake insurance policies, and these people are paying this monthly because what happens, you can set it up to where it's a monthly recurring charge, and I'm saying, okay, well, where would they even go to cancel this policy if this is coming out of their pocket or automatically coming out of their account monthly? These are fake coverages. What happened was, I think it was in Utah, a gentleman was pulled over, and he thought he had coverage. He said he had been paying his monthly payments, think he had coverage, and then he gets pulled over, and the cop is telling him he has no coverage. And he was Hispanic. He was Hispanic. So, that's not a good look already, with the current state of this country against specific groups. And then you get pulled over and you're showing them that you have insurance, but they're running and saying, no, that's not a real insurance policy. And then he got fined. He had to go to court. But what he did, he proved in court that someone set him up with this fake policy, and it wasn't just him, it was others. And I'm going to tell you something. If you think about that, what if he got into an accident? One accident can wipe you out financially. Your car could get impounded. You're liable for damages, and suddenly you're on the hook for thousands of dollars. I'm going to tell you, this scam is especially heartbreaking because it is preying on trust. Many of these drivers or immigrants or workers or just folks trying to stay compliant. And then you got scammers out here taking advantage of that. That's unacceptable. And then you want to take advantage of a group that's pretty much at this time being hit pretty hard. So they're trying to stay compliant, right? But here's my advice. Always verify your insurance directly with your carrier. Don't just trust a PDF or a WhatsApp message. You're going to want to work with a licensed agent only. If you can't verify their license, walk away. If that price sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Because we know nowadays car insurance is not really that cheap like that anymore. I don't have any tickets, no accidents, and I'm still paying almost well over $200 for one vehicle. So you want to, me personally, like having a PDF, a copy of saying this is your insurance. No, you want to call that insurance company directly and speak with an agent, to say, hey, I just got this policy, let me just verify it. Or call the agent directly before you go on and you done made that monthly payment or been making monthly payments. I'm going to tell you something. You're just going to have to be careful with that one. Definitely careful with that one. Be on the lookout, because just because they hitting this one group hard, they'll be coming for the next group and the next group and the next group. They sort of, to me, will want to prey on those who they feel like not going to read, not going to follow up on it. Your insurance should be a safety net, not a trap. So you definitely want to make sure that you're paying attention to what you're paying for. There's all kind of scams out here, and this is a newer scam, but let me tell you, it is so rampant to where it's making headline news. All right. So keep that in mind whenever you're renewing your policies, if it seems too good to be true, and look for a reputable agent to work with. Someone that has an office location that you can go into, because agents are supposed to represent you. So you should have an office location that you can go into. I don't know if Geico have offices, but Geico surely enough have a phone number that you can call to make sure it's legit. Right? All right. So moving on, I want to talk about our urban flooding. Yeah. I definitely want to pivot here because we have a FEMA and we have these disasters. And I want to use New York as an example, because one heavy rainfall, and the whole city looked like it's a swimming pool. The subway was submerged, homes being submerged, and it didn't take long at all. Let me bring this to your attention. Let me just show you how this flooding happens. And I always tell you guys on my episodes, if it rains in your area, that means it can flood. If it rains, it can flood. Take a look at this.
Last night's storms were seen right here in the city as the torrential rains turned some subways into rivers.
And Fox 5's Antoine Lewis joins us now with more on how the city reacted to this water emergency. Antoine.
I mean, just take a look at it. As you pointed out, the transit system is the major talking point when it comes to the storm's impact on the city, specifically the subway stations. A number of stations were impacted, one perhaps even more so. Let's show you video from the 28th Street subway station in Chelsea during the height of last night's storm. Water pouring in from above ground ground, flooding the station, spilling over onto the platform and then down to the tracks. Officials say more than 2 inches of rain came down in a single hour last night. This morning, MTA Chairman General Lieber says a lot of the intense flooding the transit system faced was due to the city's sewer system backing up.
Listen, if it rains, it can flood. But also, you guys, FEMA plays a huge part in this because there's a section of FEMA that's called mitigation. And mitigation is what help you update those systems. You know, your communities, your areas, you know, it's not just for individuals, it's also for the cities, for the community, so they can help prop up so you don't have to worry about that flooding. I want to show you another one. Take a look at this one. It didn't take long for this one to happen either once that rain started.
No way. The rain started 30 minutes ago. Look at this. Look where the hydrant is.
When I tell you guys, if it rains, it can flood. It can definitely flood. And then you have to understand why FEMA really exists. It exists, again, not just for homeowners or businesses, but it also exists for helping to mitigate your area. It's supposed to expand the hazardous mitigation program to help communities to prepare for flooding. FEMA actually cut funding for some of these programs. Under past administrations, most of those administrations was giving that money. Under the last administration, there were a number of states that had this money. When the new administration came in, they cut those programs, and so they cut the mitigation. And this means that it's less protection, less prevention from disasters. More people are left scrambling. This is our area. This is our infrastructure. So to me, you know, if we're paying our taxes or, you know, what we're doing with our tax money, you know, we pay it to the government or what have you, they should want to provide great infrastructure for the country. And I'm not saying that the states are not involved, because the states should be involved. And I'm going to tell you who else I think should be involved. I think the insurance companies should be involved. Those $1 trillion insurance companies should be involved in helping with the mitigation. The states as well, because some states take taxes. And then the federal government. If you have all of them working together, we can really definitely help mitigate what goes on in our cities, in our counties, at our homes. You know, here's the hard truth. Government aid is not guaranteed anymore. And insurance only works if your coverage is legit and updated. And listen, insurance only works if you have it. Because we know that regular insurance don't cover flooding. So if you just have regular insurance and your home is flooded, and then you don't have FEMA, you're left out there. That's why I tell you guys, if it rains, it can flood, and you want to look into a flood policy just to protect yourself, because this is becoming like all over the United States, flooding. Not just the United States, other countries as well. They're flooding out. So at least in the United States, you do have an option to get a flood policy. Because the thing is, you don't know if FEMA is going to be there. Because normally with FEMA, they'll come into play, and then it'll also activate the SBA to where you can get a small loan along with what FEMA give you, and then you can begin to rebuild. That's how it's supposed to work. You know, this is why we stress knowing exactly what's in your policy, and why homeowners, drivers, we all want to be protected by our insurance policies. We do want our government to step up and help out with this, especially with the mitigation for our areas, our communities. To me, a government should want all the states that are included in the United States of America to have some mitigation to protect itself from storms that may come, right? And I'm gonna tell you guys, Texas, they're still having a problem. That cleanup afterwards. And my main thing for Texas was, you're in the headlines now, but when the dust settles and you're going out the headlines and you're not the top news anymore, people gone on, you got to do the cleanup. And again, I say to consumers, you want to deal with companies that will put back in your community. Stop giving our money to these companies that do not come back to the community and help that community rebuild, help with mitigation, help with cleanup. We got to stop giving our money to these corporations that don't give back. If they don't give back, they don't get a dime from us. So you want to do research. Who's giving back in your area? What they've done lately for your area. To me, Texas, those areas that flooded, Kerrville and you gotta have to wake up and say, you didn't give back. I didn't see boots on the ground from your organization. I'm taking my insurance somewhere else. I'm taking my money somewhere else. That's exactly what we got to do. And I'm going to tell you also, we talking about insurance, even influencers. You're going to want to protect yourself. And you should see now, every single time you look on the internet, somebody is being sued. And we're going to talk about that right now. Influencers, your podcasters, creator, bloggers. Yeah. Let's not be a Candace Owens. Let's bring her to the stage. Not a fan of hers, but oh well. Let's not bring her to the stage just yet. Let me just bring up some other people. We'll hold her down for a minute. Because a lot of times we think lawsuits are only for corporations, but nope. If you got a camera, you got a mic like me, and you blogging, and you're going to be a target at this point. I want you to look at this case, even with Kash Patel. His people his firm or whoever just won a lawsuit. Kash Patel, former FBI officials, just won a $250,000 defamation case against a blogger. Let me show you. $250,000. And see, when you look and you say, hey, I wonder if they had an umbrella policy. Kash Patel, the FBI director, and his Kash Foundation won a default judgment in their defamation lawsuit against blogger Jim Stewartson. Stewartson was ordered to pay $250,000 in compensation and punitive damages. Stewartson accused Patel of being a Kremlin asset, running your mouth, saying little slick stuff, or trying to overthrow the U.S. government, and of planning the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol by supporters of Donald Trump. I'm telling you guys, this is real. This is real. These people are being sued. So if you are a beginner podcaster, beginner influencer, you want to start blogging before you buy a mic, because the mic don't matter. Turn on your camera, you better have an umbrella policy. Let me bring someone else to the stage. I didn't even know this took place until I looked at this here. This came across my timeline. Shannon Sharpe and Chad Ochocinco Johnson settled a $20 million defamation suit, according to court documents. The lawsuit was filed by a female Usher fan. Her name was Jamilta Tillman. She filed the suit against Sharpe, Johnson, and Shay Media in April. She said the duo made false and defamatory statements during their Nightcap podcast while discussing a video of Usher appearing to feed her cherries in the front row of a concert. That was just a topic they took. That was something they saw, a video they saw, they began to discuss it. And she didn't like what she heard. So she decided, I'm going to file a lawsuit on them. I know they got the money. We talking about Shay Industries, Shay. Yeah. And they settled it. They had to pay. They paid. They settled it. So the chick got her a little money, right? Let me show you this other one. Let me show you this other. Stuttering John Melendez is suing a pair of podcasters for secretly recording his voice and using his name and even his couch cushions to make a buck off his significant fame. Melendez, 59, claims comedian Carl and Shuley illegally recorded phone calls, private phone calls, to mock and ridicule him on air and in live events where he was the main attraction. Now, they didn't say exactly how much he was suing for, but it does say that he has a lawsuit there that he's filed in Manhattan Supreme Court law. It's Manhattan Supreme Court. That's where the lawsuit is. Yeah. Podcasters, new bloggers. I don't care if you have a very small channel, you're just now starting. Before you get anything, look for umbrella policy. Reach out to your agent. The bigger you are, you start getting those subscribers and you're making a difference and people are listening to your voice, you know that you're going to need some type of insurance to protect you, right? Now, Candace Owens, you may love her or hate her, is in the middle of a lawsuit for things she said on her platform. She said these things. Let me show you something of a new video. She said she was talking about the podcast, right? About the suit. But she also said some other stuff that I said, see, to me, she's still running her mouth a little bit. She's still trying to poke the bear. So me personally, I feel she got to have an umbrella policy because she's still, let me just show you this right here.
Absolutely crushing it. The people that deliver the papers are just fantastic. They're so kind. They're always fans of mine. Anyways, I am floored. Are you floored? Because this is just goofy. You are officially a very goofy man, Brigitte. But I got to give it to you. You've definitely got balls.
Did you hear her? So you are a very goofy man. Then she's going to say you got balls. Look.
Fire everybody around you. And I mean literally everyone around you.
She said you definitely got balls. You know, she was literally trying to say because the lawsuit is because she's saying that this person was born a man and now is a woman. But she's still saying, taking these little shots. To me, she is still poking the bear. So at this point, she got an umbrella insurance that's going to back her up because I know she knows better. She knows better, but she's still poking that bear. Yes, she is. And I'm going to tell you something. A podcaster, blogger, YouTuber, your entire financial future is one post away, one video away from being just decimated. The bigger your platform, the bigger your target is on your back. And these lawsuits aren't slowing down. To me, these are the thing that people are doing now. You say something they don't like and you can't prove, they're going to take you to court. And you know how you take a video and you'll repost or whatever. Me personally, when I do take videos and I repost, I'm allowing that person to speak what they said. But I'm not taking it and putting my opinion and saying, well, that's right, because I'm not going to do that. I may play like my child sex trafficking. I played a video from I've Had It. And she talked about how the pastor in that church pretty much cover for sex offenders, pedophiles. That's a problem for me. I played that video because I want people to understand kids are not safe anywhere without their parents or without their loved ones to protect them. I played that video. Now, whether that's true or not, but I allow her voice to say what she said on her podcast to make a point to you all that, hey, you can't trust people, not even the church. You're going to have to be with your child all the time. So, anyways, with Candace, she's still poking that bear. And I'm going to tell y'all something. This isn't slowing down. If anything, this is becoming a new weapon in the influencer economy. Everybody's not getting monetized. Everybody, you say one thing to upset them, you're going to be in some trouble because everybody wants that mighty dollar. Now, let me just give you a solution. Why you need an umbrella coverage, right? And I'm not promoting, I'm not an agent or anything like that. What I'm here is to discuss insurance and how you need to protect yourself. So here's the solution. Insurance, but not just for standard businesses or homeowners policy. We're talking about an umbrella policy, right? An umbrella policy is like, let's say a backup parachute. It'll kick in when your regular coverage is tapped out. Just like that dog bite. I did a video about a dog bite. She sued the homeowners, but the homeowners policy has a limit. The suit went to 4.2 million. So you know the homeowner policy didn't cover that. That's when that coverage taps out. And that's when the insurance, the umbrella insurance kick in. It is designed for things like personal liability, defamation, slander, and those lawsuits you just never saw coming. You know, if you're going to be a creator, you're building your YouTube channel, you're a podcaster or a blogger, you're going to get that umbrella insurance. You're going to want that umbrella insurance, right? In your startup costs. That's going to be the first thing. Don't forget that fancy mic. Forget the lighting. Your first real investment to protect yourself from lawsuits is going to get that umbrella coverage. So, you know, let's just be real. All it takes is one angry person. And we know that the state of this country, everybody's angry. An angry person, one clip can be taken out of context, or one guest making a controversial statement, and boom, you are served. You don't want to be standing in court with nothing to back you up. You want to take a look at that insurance policy. Think about it. Think about getting that umbrella insurance as, you know, as a shield for you. If you're serious about building your brand, protect it like it's a business. So that's what you're gonna have to do. So pretty much, listen, scams are out there. FEMA isn't always going to be there when disaster hit, and lawsuits are there. They're coming for creators more than ever. Protect yourself now, not later. This has been Beyond the Claim, Unfiltered Insurance and Adjuster Talk. I will see you on the next video. Oh, wait, I want to remind you, stay covered, stay educated, stay beyond the claim. Listen, child sex trafficking. If you see something, I need you to say something. 1-888-373-7888. Please report it as soon as you see it. Our children deserve a voice and they deserve protection. I'll see you on the next episode. Take care.